Good day, guys. Welcome to Endurance Room. We are coming at you from upstate New York. We're not going to give up our spot. We're looking at some land up here. We're super stoked. It's perfect. Catherine.
Perfect cabin on the perfect parcel of land. And this is our backyard.
It's backed up to like 5 different state forests. It'll be a bushcraft paradise if this falls into place. So fingers crossed. We're just kind of checking out the area today, but we just looked at the cabin and it's amazing. It's perfect. So welcome to upstate New York.
What I'm gonna do to create some good karma and positive energy is I'm gonna pick up some trash. And it always helps me feel better to know that I'm just one little person, but one little nut can make a whole forest. Just make some good vibes and show some respect for the land and the water.
My girl's pretty awesome. So we just checked out the area. We took a little drive and went to a small town, got a bite to eat, and now we're back at the lake that we were at earlier. It's a pond, really. Pretty good size. But this looks like a home for the night. There's a primitive site here. Somewhat clear skies for now. It's looking like rain later, but it's the French F1 Rucksack. I've shown this in a couple other videos, but these are cool packs. Pretty sure Sportsman's Guide has them right now on sale. They're like 20 bucks, but there's some straps on the bottom and it'll hold a Plage Palaka or a Lavu. And there's a quick access compartment on the front and then 2 interior compartments. It's rubberized canvas, but it's pretty cool because this oversized lid can be extended. So if you got more stuff, the pack can be extended, you know, vertically. Here's everything all laid out. Sleeping pad, pillow, some extra layers if it cools off. Space blanket for a ground sheet, sleeping bag, sewing kit, Plage Palaka. This is an East German grenade pouch with my compass and fire starting stuff. Ripstop poncho, leather work gloves, Sawyer water filter in a bag, steel canteen and a cup, first aid kit, shelter kit, saw, and a little hook knife for some carving. The whole thing weighed about 25 pounds. Are you stoked?
Yes.
I'm stoked as well. It already feels like home.
I was telling him before that I always feel like good when I'm here. Like I don't have to like work on adjusting my attitude or being happy or meditating or any of that crap. Like I'm just like, like, like it doesn't happen to me anywhere else. I don't know what that is, but
You already feel tied and connected to the land. Awesome. So the shelter for tonight is an 8x10 poly tarp. It's kind of like a plow point, but I think they call it a forester's. We've got a bipod wedge with a ridgeline pole. It gives it some clearance on the inside. The front of the tarp is draped up over the ridgeline. I'm using some toggles to hold it in place on the left and on the right. And then at the bottom, staked down. There's plenty of room on the inside. And then it's just staked out in the back 2 corners. For the longest time I was using those plastic ABS tent stakes, and they do not hold up out here. There's lots of rocks in the ground. I've been using grade 8 bolts. They're like 1/4 inch by 6 inch. I just put a loop of paracord on the end of them and tape it down. A lot of times there'll be rocks layered in the ground and you only have so much room, so they can fit down in and they don't snap. So When camp's all set, all I've got to do is grab some firewood and then we can get a fire started. Firewood has been collected. Let's get this going. So aside from that log right there, that was the only cut I had to make with my handsaw. Everything else is just collected off the floor and broken by hand over my knee. It's a lot less energy than running a saw. If you can snap it, snap it. We brought some steak with us, but we're both still kind of full from lunch. So our dinner tonight is these vegetarian Indian meals. A company called MTR.
They're the best backpacking food that I can find. They're like $2 a packet, and there's nothing shady in them.
So back in March when they did the first lockdown, things started getting weird. We headed out of New Jersey and went back to Pennsylvania, where I'm from, and we had a location set up with our longhouse. You guys saw us build that. And we basically lived off the land for a couple months, and you know, in a word, I guess we bugged out. We brought our camping gear, a few changes of clothes, some basic tools, and about a 20-gallon tote of food
And seeds.
And that's basically what we lived off of for, you know, the first 3 months.
Yeah, we didn't go to a store for months.
So it was an interesting experience. We got to test out our skills and, you know, see where we were at and see what the realities of living like that would be. Wasn't easy, but at the same time it was doable. If you're in, you know, a situation where you had to live off the land, traps are worth taking a look at. You don't need a lot. I had 6 number 2s, maybe a couple 1.5s, and you know, some little conibears. But you know, the number 2 foothold traps, they're great.
I don't like it at all. But if it comes down to a survival situation,
You could eat.
or if it comes down to practicing your survival skills, then you need to learn how to do it. Period. You don't put him in the way.
Coffee's good. So you're excited to be up here? Yeah? Is this where you always wanted to be? Yes? Why?
Well, I don't think a lot of people know this, but New York State actually has like the most wilderness and state land of any state. The Adirondack Park is like 6 million acres. Was it 6 million?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's more than anywhere out west. Like, it's concentrated. It's just like a huge forest. And like, there's some houses and roads here and there through there, but it's a huge wilderness area. And you know, you got the Catskills, you have all these other lakes and state parks, and when people think New York, they think, ugh, cities, ugh, liberals, like, and it's not like that. My family's been up here for generations and generations and generations on both sides, and I just feel at home here, and it's beautiful. Cuomo sucks, gun law sucks, but you can't have it all, right? It's good to follow your heart and follow your dream, and the more you do that, the luckier you get, I found.
You're pretty lucky.
I'm extremely lucky. They call me lucky. That good karma adds up, you know? I know I look kind of mean, but I'm actually pretty nice and I do good deeds, so.
Straight up tiger. This is her headband, by the way.
Look at this beard. Look at this beard. Look at his curls.
This is how long we've been together. I shaved my face before we met, and then I haven't really shaved since. I've trimmed it like once or twice just to kind of maintain, but yeah.
I haven't cut my hair in probably 5 years, 6 years. I haven't cut it at all, like nothing.
Those are your antennas?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's long.
Yeah, so like the back, I think it was Vietnam. I think it was Vietnam. So
I know the story you're gonna tell.
Yeah, check this out.
Because of my antennas. I already
antennas.
know.
Yes, so I believe it was the Army. They were looking for.
They were recruiting trackers.
Yeah, they were recruiting trackers from the natives, and they were bringing them in, and
from the Southwest. I believe it was the Navajo.
Was the Navajo?
Dene.
Yeah. Yeah, they're bringing these guys in. They ran a couple test runs, and they were like super ninjas out in the woods. They're, nobody could touch them, and they're killing everybody. And they're like, all right, we need some of these guys on the team. So they brought them in, and, put them through boot camp, shaved everybody's head, and, put them back out in the field and ran their war games. And they're just like everybody else, and they're getting whooped. And they're like, what the heck? What's wrong with you guys? You're broken now. All right. And they're like, well, you cut her hair. And they're like, what? So they grabbed another sample. They grabbed another group of guys. They didn't cut their hair. And once again, they were just ninjas in the woods. So they let these guys keep their hair. And they were just like super scouts. And they actually ran like a study on this and did research on it. And these college professors got a hold of the data in, the mid-60s. And that's where we get the long-haired, shaggy college professor, stereotype was from that study, because these college guys read this study and they're like, hey, there's something to it. So we got camp all packed up, and now we're gonna take a hike. The land we're looking at is backed up to some state land, so I'm gonna use my compass and my pacing beads to get us over in the ballpark. That's the plan anyway. So the trail that we're on, it is the long path. It's part of the long path, which runs from like New York City almost all the way up to Albany. It's about 350 miles. Pretty beautiful.
I think I see a lion's mane. I thought it was a lion's mane because it looked all white and shaggy, but it's something else.
The ridge is running due east, so it's pretty easy to navigate. About every 100 meters I'm reshooting my azimuth, but the flow of the hill and the game trails are basically running due east, which is exactly where we need to go. 700 meters. We just hit 1,000 meters. 1,000. There's a ton of old fences through this woods. Check this out. Basically all along the crest of this hill, there's fencing. So many stones. Imagine those walls were built up over lifetimes. Found like an old road, an old wagon road or something. And it's heading pretty much due east, so perfect. It may be another kilometer to go. Seen some buck sign, lots of mushrooms.
Tons of mushrooms.
Tons of mushrooms. Got a raspberry patch.
Real wild raspberries, like not the invader or wineberry kind that are everywhere nowadays.
The woods is beautiful. Lots of pine, hemlock.
White birch.
Don't recognize this one. I haven't seen any tulip poplar yet. It's just like one of my go-to resources back in northwest Pennsylvania. But lots of birch. Indian pipe, ghost pipe. We got some chaga.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is the spot, guys. I think that's the marker for the line. This is state forest on this side, and the other side would be the land that we're looking at. And it's 15 acres up the hill. This is pretty rad. Literally miles of woods, and we saw no human sign. I mean, aside from those old stone walls and the wagon trails, there's nothing. No litter, you know, no hunting stands, no shotgun shells.